Dropping truth bombs today as I clap to sync up my audio. In this video, I thought I'd talk a little bit about prioritizing mental health a little bit. Obviously, I did my big mental health video earlier this year, which got a lot of response and a lot of positive response, which of course I'm still thankful for. It was maybe one of my favorite videos in terms of meaning and what it did for some people and all that stuff. And I thought with everything going on, I'd talk a little bit about prioritizing mental health during this sort of shitstorm we're going through and quite unprecedented time. So sort of the groundwork for this discussion was the fact that last night was a bit of a shitstorm for me. I'm not going to lie. For some reason or another, I'd forgotten or just not really put any thought towards checking assessment results for 2 assignments. Checked them last night and saw I did quite poorly, very poorly if I'm being honest. Not up to my normal standard. I was caught a bit off guard by some results and had a bit of a spiral mentally of like questioning where I could finish uni now. I've had this goal of achieving a distinction average, and I came into this semester at 74.5, so literally 0.5 away from being distinction average. And after I'd seen how I did, I thought that maybe could have just crushed that all entirely. I really fell off for a little while and didn't know what to do. Felt a bit like helpless and hopeless, and it was tough. But the sort of more significant part of last night than my sort of spiral itself was how I rebounded from that later. So I ultimately, after weighing up this sort of goal to get a distinction average and sort of thinking about what was happening mentally, I just decided after hours of thought that I was just not going to worry about a distinction average as a goal anymore and just sort of focus instead on prioritizing my happiness and my mental health and just work as hard as I can and just be happy with the result. And immediately, as soon as I came to that decision, I felt like I sort of switched back on again. I sort of got out of this rut I was in, or whatever you want to call it, and I'd sort of gotten back on path of how I was before, and just sort of kept pushing on again. Alright, I just took my jumper off. It is quite warm now. That sort of coming to that decision was very significant for me because first of all, it was the first time I sort of gave myself any sort of credit or slack and sort of just let myself relax a bit. I'd normally like to just work myself into the floor, and then that's just how I normally do things. But for once, I actually thought, okay, I'll do what's best for me and won't worry and just sort of get through as I can. There's talks from people I've been talking to at uni that apparently you can change your mark to a satisfactory and then the class becomes like a pass-fail and doesn't go towards your final grade, which would be good if true. I don't know if it is, but either way, I don't really care. And I think it's important for all of us, particularly, uni students, if you're struggling with uni work, or if you're an essential worker or someone still working and you're struggling to keep up with work, if there's something that's getting on top of you, I think it's important that right now we take time for ourselves and just do what's best for us and realize that as much as we want to do certain things, be it getting certain grades or working hard or whatever it may be, that there should come a point where that stops to focus on yourself, because at the end of the day, like, all this stuff will pass. Like, realistically, I'm going to get more out of what I actually learned from uni than the certificate I'll get at the end. And years from now, it'll probably be a case of the certificate not meaning that much, just like I look on the HSC as not being as defining as I thought it was at the time. And so it's just important to stay as happy as you can and focus on that. So I guess that would be my big piece of advice from my experience. Obviously, I'm only 20. I don't have this wealth of life experience, but I've gone through some things and I know a little bit about some things, and enough that I think I can offer some advice to anyone who wants it. So yeah, I've finally learnt to not beat myself up about something, which is, I mean, character development at its finest. Yeah, this situation is so crazy. I know people at uni that are the highest caliber of student, aiming to the moon, that are even thinking like at this point they just can't be bothered. It's just so unprecedented. Some classes have poorly transitioned, I'd say, into the online format, and for students at this point, it's just important to keep going as best you can. Do what you can and just try and be happy with the result, and just happy in general with where you are, what you're doing, because I mean, for us, we're going through something that not many people have experienced in modern times, since university has been as it is. You know, I don't think any other university year, any other class of students has had to deal with an online system because of a pandemic, and I think that earns us some slack to go a little bit easy and just do what we can to push on. So yeah, for me now with uni, it's do what I can, do the best I can while still being happy, submit, and then just be happy with that. And what I get back, a mark is a mark. Obviously, that doesn't mean I'm completely disregarding the possibility of a distinction, average. That might still happen. I might still get it. I normally get distinctions in a few subjects. I mean, the last couple of semesters I've got nothing but distinctions, so there's still a chance that I'll claw that back by the end. But it's one of those things where if I don't get it, I'm not going to beat myself into the ground about it. I'm not going to let it be some defining thing that gets on top of me, because I know that if this hadn't happened, if this whole pandemic wasn't a thing, and if uni was as normal, I know I'd be smashing it the same as I have been, and I would have been dead set on a distinction. It would have been almost certain, I think. So yeah, just stay positive, stay happy, do what you can, and yeah, we move. We keep living. Apparently restrictions might be lessening still, but I know for university that's already set to be online next semester. So for me, online learning isn't going anywhere, and well, I likely won't have in-person classes anymore. It'll probably be done. I'll just have uni this semester, uni online next semester, and then that'll be it. I'll be out the door. Maybe come graduation next April or whatever it is, I'll actually have an in-person thing. But yeah, hope this video was informative in some way or offered some advice. I'm my own biggest self-critic by far, so if I'm somehow able to relax and give myself some credit, then I think a lot of us can. Because yeah, we're doing our best, and we think we should all just be proud of pushing on still, because it's just a bit shit, isn't it? So that's going to be all. Take care of yourself and those around you. Make sure you practice social distancing and isolation and all that as best as you can. If you're an essential worker or something, big shout out to you. Keep doing your thing and carrying the world as you're required to, as you're being expected to. You have a lot of expectation on you right now. And yeah, I think everyone's very grateful for how you keep that up. So love to you all. Stay safe, stay happy. And yeah, let's just push on, smash this thing out, and hopefully get back to normal soon. I just want to see friends again, if I'm honest. I just miss the gang. All right, see you guys next time. Peace.